You ready? The intro is playing in my head right now.
Hey, Biko. Hey, Ban.
I thought you were going to start me off easy.
Singing soprano in high school isn't really the sort of thing that gives you credibility.
Halfway into a pandemic, I was like, this is a great time to start meeting strangers.
I had not done a short film, I had not done anything.
I'd recommend the one chapter that captures all my romantic exploits.
Kenya knows what to do with people who give you what we know.
How do I like to enjoy my Singleton? A little bit of water, just a splash.
I like it neat.
I like preserving the integrity.
Oh, whiskey should be taken neat.
One ice.
My name is Tosh Gitonga and you're watching Singleton Stories with Biko Zulu. Several. Riding my chopper bike, going do Pararo, and watching Kung Fu movies. Oh yeah, lots of, in fact, it was just Kung Fu movies that we used to love watching. We had a small cinema that we'd go to on Sundays. I was adventurous, you know. Being on the move made me happy. If I look back, I think, yeah, hey, I loved entertainment, you know. I loved film. So now when I'm here, when I look back, I can see the patterns. Primary school, I was in charge of the TV. High school, again, I was in the drama chairman. So when I look back at all these times, I didn't see it then, but now I can see the patterns of where, you know, my heart was and what made me tick. I think it's largely passion. You know, if you look at, say, me and what I'm doing, it's something I've learned on the go. I didn't even go to school for film, but because I loved it so much, I put myself so much into it. And I've gotten to learn in this time that I've been in the industry, to learn about filmmaking. So I think passion is largely a huge factor. No. I mean, there was concerns, of course. You know, it's an industry that wasn't really sustainable. That was the biggest concern for my mom, because she has seen it anyway. When I was, I think, in primary school, my brother got to work in a cinema that was happening. I think it was called The Ascent. It was done around Mount Kenya. So we had come from Nanyuki. So a lot of people from Nanyuki got hired. And the money was insane. You know, back then people were being paid so much per day, per week. And so he had a lot of money in a small time frame. So my mom was exposed to that. After the movie was gone, then the money was gone. So for her, filming it's like luck. It's like one time, something that comes now and then it's gone. So that was the biggest concern. But in terms of understanding that this could be a career, she sort of had an idea. And she was always very, very supportive, you know, of what we wanted to do as kids. When my bro wanted to change what he was doing, you know, she would be, okay, if that's what you really want, then you go and do it. Not much, because he was gone by the time I was 10. So we didn't have a lot of interactions. He wasn't there much to have a say in what direction I was going. Honestly, I think very good. My mom's balance shaped a lot in what I do, what I am in life. And I think my mom treated me as an individual from way back. And it's something that I also do with my kids. Wow, that's late. I think while getting into it, you're just flowing.
In 5 shots, 3 take 10.
And it's livelihood, and it's, you know, a gig after gig. And then you start to look at this as something that is more than making a living. I think that's the point. You realize who you really are. And for me, that happened at least when I decided to make Disconnect. That's about 2015. You know, so I'd been doing this for quite some time when I realized it's more. You know, I think this is who I am. I'm an artist. I think my best moment as a filmmaker is always when you sit in that theater and you see people react to what you've created, and they react how you expected them to. When Nairobi Half-Life premiered in Durban, this was my first film ever. I had not done a short film, I had not done anything. And the first screening is packed. So what happens in festivals is you have to submit your film to the judges so that they can decide what selection is going to be, official or whatever. And so the people who are the judges then do speak about what films to look out for. And that then word goes around. So what happens at Nairobi Half-Life had a buzz. Like, already word was out, this is a film to look out for this year. That vibe I felt then, I think is one of the best feelings as a filmmaker. Worst is when you envision something so much and when you're out there filming it is not coming together. Yo, there's a photo of me when we were filming Nairobi Half-Life, and I was despairing because I was like, I've been trying to take this shot for almost the whole afternoon. It's not coming together. I don't know what to do. I have tried to, you know, fix it the best way I can, but it's not what I want. It's something that is there, although I don't let it play on, I don't let it have room, so to speak. But there is insecurity of what if what you're doing just doesn't, you know, doesn't fly because you're as good as your last film. Always. That's something that you've got, we as directors always know. Nobody will remember the good film you made. They always remember the bad film you made. So there's that insecurity that is always there of what if, you know, what if it flops? What if it tanks? And it happens, you know. All the biggest filmmakers have had that film that just doesn't hit the mark. And it can be devastating because it can stop you from going on, you know. It can stop you from moving forward. So that's the insecurity that is always there. Oh yeah, I think that's the thing. You find you overwork yourself because you can't go to sleep until everything is done, and at the same time that you have been part of making sure that stuff is done. And it's something when I was still a PA and an assistant director, I used to be the first there and be the last to leave. And I find that in my life I'm like that. For me, perfection is when you do something completely to what you feel it should be like. If it's a shot, if it's a movie, you know, doing it the best way you can. And I've had this argument a lot, whereby we say, oh, but it was low budget. Low budget does not mean then the sound should have kelele throughout, because I mean, whether it's a low budget recorder and a state-of-the-art recorder, it still records. You know, the quality may not be the same, but you cannot shoot through noise and expect it to be in post okay. You need to get on set and you need to do the best you can with what you have. It's an animal I relate to a lot. The jaguar. You know, it moves quietly. It looks harmless, but it's lethal. You know, that person you never see coming. Neat. I have a story about Singleton. I got invited to Bob Collimo's house. This was, I think, a few years after Nairobi Half-Life. And he had invited some artists because he was into art and music. And you want to be impressive. You want to go with a single malt or something. So I went to the Singleton, presented to him. We had a nice evening, party, left, and on Monday, I was on set shooting something when I got a text, and it was from him. And he's like, I have actually not ever had this whiskey before, and it's actually quite good. Thank you. And I was like, boom. It's a true story. So yeah, so that happened. In a way, look at this guy shaking the head. In an industry, I'll put it this way, in an industry that has no mechanics for what we do, we're all struggling. You know, we've got nowhere to go and apply for funding, for even to develop our films. These places are available in Europe and so forth. And for you to get those sort of funding, it's a process, you know, 1 year, 2 years, then the film has to align to, you know, what they want you to do. So it's not a film that you make out of your heart. So most of the filmmakers are always doing something to put food on the table, and then this as a passion. And for me, I've always wanted this to be what we do as what puts food on the table, because I believe it's possible. It's happening across the world. There's a lot to be done. It's frustrating because it's taking time. And in that aspect then, there's a struggle, because I cannot wake up tomorrow and make the film I want to make. Am I putting food on the table for me and my family? Yes, and I'm grateful for that. 7, maybe 6.5, 7. Yeah. I am not this adulting thing, bwana. Yo, it's it's a whole roller coaster, you know. And I thank God we're in a space now that people can talk, can speak what you do, stories you put out there, you know, we can read them and we can relate, and we, you know, feels like you're not the only one. Yeah, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but it's a journey, and I understand that. I think it's first and foremost reaching that emotional maturity. You know, once you get there, then I think a lot will fall into place. There's a lot planned for. There's a lot of dreams where we want to go. Once you get there, then I think a lot will fall into place. Understanding that things don't happen overnight, or things don't happen how you wish them to happen, which I am understanding. It's a build-up, you know, towards that. So I think I'll get there, but thank you. Can I drink now?